Welcome to the channel. I'm Phil. The whole purpose of this channel is kind of a variety show. Back in August of 24, the wife and I were offered a beautiful piece of property up north, and well, to me, up north has always been home. So the majority of this channel is going to be miscellaneous projects around the property up north as we get ready to move and live up here permanently. Now, I was born by some people's standards in the Northwoods to begin with. Born the second son of a dairy farmer in Frederick, Wisconsin. I grew up doing normal farm things. Well, to me, the farming life never really took hold. I always was drawn more towards the woods. Over the years, I've worked all sorts of odd jobs, different trade work, spent quite a bit of time in commercial firewood. And as the body deteriorated, doing all sorts of wonderful blue-collar work and being the equipment, I decided it was time to pull the plug, get out of commercial firewood, kick back and take it a little easier. The property we were offered was 20 acres with a nice little cabin on it. Needs a lot of work, but it's a cheap cabin, it's cheap acreage, and we're up north where I always wanted to be. The wife, working as a traveling lab tech, is always on the road, so she's not really concerned with what we've got for a home. We'll be living most of the year out of a camper anyhow, so we'll buy a nice camper and we'll be on the road. But when we're ready to come home, take a break from the road, we'll have a nice little place up in the woods. This 20-acre piece is located in Bayfield County, so we are up north. I don't care how you figure it. We're north of 8, we're north of 48, we're north of 70, we're north of 77, so we're up north. This winter, with the lack of snowfall, I've been able to kind of get base camp, so to speak, set up. Base camp for next summer will be this vintage, beautiful J-Flight fifth wheel camper, all 28 feet of it. As you can kind of see behind me here, already started trucking in some materials, and we're making the most of the mild winter. Today we did a lot of exploring around the property, kind of get a little better lay of the land, because when we did first look at it last fall, basically all we were concerned with was, hey, it's got an address, it's got a structure that don't leak, and the driveway is passable with a four-wheel drive. As we get going on things up here, which will most likely be in the spring of the year, some of our first projects are clearing a fire break around the cabin, getting the cabin gutted because the previous owners only used it for a hunting shack, so a bunch of guys in their, God knows how old, 30s to 60s, you can only imagine what the condition of the cabin's like. It was enough for them to sleep in, enough to cook a few crude meals, and that was about it. Outhouse, generator shed, they're outside. For the most part, I'm guessing they probably didn't even use the outhouse all that often. It was pick a tree and call her good. Now, the camper will afford me the luxury of a working refrigerator, nice little gas stove, and actually having a shower other than on rain days. So we're going to get things underway come spring. More than likely it'll be mid-April, early May before we'll be actually getting much for projects done. So most of the content here the rest of the winter will be at our property in Clear Lake, Wisconsin, getting ready to get things up here. We'll have projects along the lines of doing some chainsaw milling. I got a bunch of aspen I'm going to mill for paneling inside the cabin. Mill up a bunch of pine for miscellaneous projects because, well, it's almost 20 minutes to the closest lumber yard and 45 minutes to the nearest sizable town. So we're going to do our best to round up as many materials as we can and get them up here so we're not constantly chasing a town.